Good afternoon. When you sit down in a chair, you take notice of how the chair is constructed. You look at all of the connections. You jiggle them a little bit to make sure that they're tight. You examine whether or not the legs of the chair are going to be able to support the weight. You see if they're thin or if they're bigger and fatter, or you look at if one of them is broken or split in some way. You look at all of these different things every time you sit down on a chair, right? Maybe not. Maybe you just see a chair and you sit down on it. But what you for sure never do, for sure you never wonder, is the chair real? You can see the chair. You can look around it if you wanted to. You could touch it and examine it if you wanted to. You could do all of those things, but you don't have to. Because you know and you see that the chair is there. You know that if you sit on that chair, you're going to be resting. You know that if you sit on that chair, you're going to take the load off of your legs. You know that you're going to be able to spend a moment catching your breath, whatever it might be, the reason why you're sitting. But you know that when you sit on that chair, you know that it's going to be there and it's going to give you what it promises. This is the way it is with God. And yet God is something that we can't see at all. We can't go up to God and touch Him and examine to see if He's real. We can't see God face to face and talk with Him and have Him talk back to us in a way that we can hear. These are things that we can't do. And yet, if we want to gain any benefit from God, we have to believe that He exists. We have to believe that He exists. We have to seek after Him. The reason why we do that, the reason why we believe that He exists, the reason why we seek after Him is because God Himself has led you to faith, to a belief and a trust in Him. Even though you can't see Him, even though you can't touch Him, you have faith in Him. And that's what God says you need to have. In fact, in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6, He says this, "And without faith it is impossible to please God. Indeed, it is necessary for the one who approaches God to believe that He exists and that He rewards those who seek Him." God grants you that faith. He grants you that faith through Jesus because without God, you wouldn't be able to trust and believe that God exists because you can't see Him. God works that faith in your heart through the work of Christ. He works that faith in your heart to believe that God exists and to know that you are going to get good things from Him. You are going to seek Him and He will be found. That is what God does for you in your heart. Until we see each other again, the Lord's blessings on your day.